Hello everyone, my name is Bram Lagrou. Welcome back to this video. This video is the one that I promised to you to effectively go into a few tools that I would like to give you in order to increase your emotional intelligence, but most importantly, by doing so, to increase the results you are getting at work, possibly even at home as well. Because you will see that these four tools that I will be giving to you are absolutely powerful. They work and they get results. So stay with me until the end of the video because I need to take you through a few ideas and also give you a few examples in order for you to really resonate with the concepts and understand the purpose behind it, why you would do it and do it consistently. So watch this space. Emotional intelligence part 2. This is you. This is a picture of you being the green, tall person, you know, who's looking to impact positively a whole group of people out here. Now, the number isn't really that important. It may be that you're, looking after 7 people only. It may be looking at you after thousands or even millions of people. This is your group of people that you would like to engage and inspire. Start with the end in mind. And the end in mind in this case here is to, number 1 here, free up more human capital. When you are engaging with staff, right? People within your organization. It may be even stakeholders or investors. These people are part of this group here. Your capital resides in their hands. The question is, how much do you free up from it? There's a lot of people with a lot of skill sets, knowledge, know-how, experience, time, resources, networks, relationships, that if you were to truly tune in with it and leverage it to your full potential, what you're doing is you are freeing up so much goodwill for your business and your career. But most people, they don't get even there. Most people, they are just, working by default and keeping it at a mediocre level. And so here's your chance to increase it and bring it up to an unprecedented level, freeing up more human capital, freeing up more emotional capital. This is what we're in for. But in order to get there, this is the outcome. If you want to have people, look after your clients better so that those clients come back more easily and keep buying from you, which is obviously the first premise of having a business, right? Satisfying clients and growing it and keeping them over time. Well, if you want to do that, that's freeing up more emotional capital. If you want investors to invest more money into your business, this is again freeing up more human capital. If you would like your staff, who you are already paying their wages, put in extra time, coming up with even better ideas to help you save more money and add more to your top line. That's freeing up more human capital. So all of these are just mere results out of you being a highly emotional, intelligent leader. So in order to get there, the question mark is now, how are we going to do it? How specifically can you act on a daily basis in order to do this? Well, we need to just do one more step before we get to that question. We first need to engage. We need to engage both the mind as well as the heart of people. Now, you could say at this stage, Bram, this is just too simplistic. I get that. Here's my catch though. What's simple is easy to implement. If I make it too complicated for you, will you actually ever take charge of it and do something with it? Maybe yes for once, maybe for twice, but not consistently. And that's not really what I'm after. I'm after helping you to really get bang for buck and really get results quickly and consistently over time in a sustainable manner. And so by boiling it down to the essence and keeping it simple, the chances of you of doing something with it and doing it ongoingly increase by tenfold. When is the last time when you went to your staff, for example, and you asked them to do something? Maybe you changed from manual to digital, from customer service where it's all simplistic to one where you really are looking to engage people. You may be looking for your staff to change their entire processes at work or just to become more commercial. This is all change that you're after. But the question is, how easily are you getting people there? Because the chances are that you will be coming with facts, figures, ideas, information, graphs, data, research findings, and the like, which is all appealing to people's brain. The question is, not whether people understand what it's about. The question is more so, do they feel driven enough to take it on and help you achieve what you're after, to implement what you'd like to get implemented, and really do it not just half-heartedly, but fully. So here is really where most of the time, where the challenge resides. Especially if you notice that people oppose, object, sometimes kindly say yes to you, but in the back just don't do anything with it at all, or even sabotage it behind the scenes. Any of those four shapes of reactions of people just shows that people are not engaged. They are disenfranchised. And unless you get both combined, meaning you make sure that they understand the purpose of it, and then you inspire them on their heart level to take action on it and come on the journey with you, and them even driving it for you so that you can take your hands off the steering wheel. This is where most of the time things fail. People will either do either one of them, but they won't get both. And once again, my best suggestion in this case so far is whenever you see that people are opposing, rejecting, sabotaging, or plainly not taking it on whatsoever, make sure that you invest in the emotional state of people, because that's where your emotional capital will come from. If you do it well, that's what you're going to get. If you only do this halfway, guess which type of results you'll get? Half-hearted ones. So it's really important that we get this right, and we get it right early on. So now I'm going to share with you number 3, which is the exact tool that we wanted to give to you today, that I've seen time and time again completely change workplaces around. I've even seen personal relationships at home change radically for the better just by people doing these 4 things and do them consistently. Let's look at people as all being banks, and your job as a leader, whether a leader of staff or a leader of clients. When you're working with people, your job is to fully engage both their mind and heart. And so as you look at each individual as a bank, your job is to identify early on that unless you can draw out of the bank, you first need to put in an investment in the bank. Makes sense, right? Unless you put money in, you can't take any money out of the ATM, right? So here's the opportunity. Huge opportunity. The more you invest upfront into each bank, aka each individual, the more you are building up your human capital around you, because you put out all sorts of deposits into it. And when the time's right and you are calling up on somebody to withdraw some of the funds that you deposited into their emotional bank account, the chances is that they are going to come and help you out, because by then you have earned their trust. You have deepened your relationship with them, and they are then happy to reciprocate. But if you just go in by taking people for granted, just thinking that because I pay their wages or because I'm looking after them as a client, if you are coming in from this sort of, I'd say, negative mindset, how can you even think that people will want to help you and give to you, give freely, give you more business, give you more time, give you more resources, give you more referrals? How can you even expect them to do it without you even having done anything specifically or specially for them? You first give so that you receive, so that you can give even more. This is the mindset that I highly recommend you to take on, because it's a question of giving. The highly emotional, intelligent people, they just give freely of themselves. They are building people around them. They are depositing a lot of funds into the emotional bank accounts. And as those bank accounts soar and grow, the chances is that when they need it, because there's a bit of an issue, or they've got a problem to address, that's when people easily will step in and come to rescue. Let me just briefly share with you a story to make this very easy to relate to. There was recently an organization I worked with to roll out a pilot program in training. And we had 3 sessions with the team in South Australia. And there was a particular gentleman by the name of Jared sitting in there. He was one of the youngest guys in the group, was also the youngest addition to the team. And halfway into the program, I learned before walking in, just before walking into the third session, the last one, that Jared was about to be sacked. He had already received his notice. He was already aware of it, but he still decided to be in the program regardless. And the reason why he was being let go of was because the company had to restructure, and because he was the youngest one in, he was also the first one out. And that was just by the mere, by how the situation rolled out. It wasn't a question of whether he was really good, because it was great. It wasn't because he had a nice attitude and it was very pleasant to work with, because he was. None of that, all of that was actually in his favor. It was just false luck or bad luck, being the last one in, the first one out. Now, anyway, during that time, I decided to actually make a deposit in Jared's emotional bank account. So in the break, I actually took him aside and I said, Jared, we don't know each other very well. What I can say is that from the time we spent together is that I've learned to appreciate where you're coming from. I see that you're highly positive about your job, that you're putting a lot of heart into it. You're very passionate. You look after your clients and you really want to do a great job. And I just want to say, and you're such a team player, I just want to acknowledge that in you. And I just want to say, even though I don't know where you're going to end up after this job, I just want to say, commend to you for doing this. The fact that you're here today is testament again of your positive spirit and the fact that you always want to keep getting better. And I just want to say thank you for that, and I really truly believe in you. And that's just pretty much where I left it. Now, a few months went past. Jared again did a great job in that last session. He went off, ventured off to another company, didn't hear of or see him again. But this one day I bump into Jared at one of the airports. And he's just on his way, being sent over by his new employer to a client in the States. And I just, waved to him and I said, hey, Jared, how are you? And we just, had a bit of a chat. He stood up, he shook my hand, and I could tell that we were really having a very warm conversation, very engaged and the likes. Here's now where, again, we're bringing it back to this. And this is, again, an example that you will get as well by doing this. Jared and I just again felt for the guy, and I asked a lot of questions about him. I listened, I nodded, I engaged with him, and I really took a genuine interest in where he was coming from. So I learned who he was working for, where he was sent off to, learned that it wasn't maybe perhaps the job that he was really too keen about compared to the previous one, but he just understood that it was just part of his journey and that something better may come up later. So here is where I, again, for the second time around, chose to invest in his emotional bank account. I said, Jared, I believe in you, mate. I can see how you are going very far in your career just by the mere attitude and the efforts you put into your job. And I just want to say that anytime that you feel that I could help you with, let me know and I'll be there for you. And we just, chatted a little bit longer. We shook hands again and we went off our own journey. Here's now where the rubber hits the road. By now I've deposited twice in his emotional bank account. I've noticed also that anytime when I posted something on LinkedIn since that second meeting in the airport, Jared was one of the very first people to like it or leave a comment online. Is this showing that he's engaged? I'd say yes, and you probably do too. When I now would, for example, when my car would break down somewhere just outside of the city, and then Jared happens to be in town, and if I were to ring him up and say, hey, Jared, I'm not too far away from you, my car broke down, RA is not working, nobody is able to help me out, would you be willing to come up, pick me up, and drop me off at home? What do you think Jared would say in that very moment? Many months after I put in my deposits. Chances are that Jared, as you already have noticed, that Jared will say, you know what, Bram, I'd be delighted to do that. Let me do that for you. I'm already in my car right now. Now, this is, again, a very simplistic story. But the power of the story should obviously speak thousands of words. This is really where you will see that the following 4 steps make a complete difference to the way you go about building people around you, building goodwill, building emotional bank accounts, and beefing up your human capital. So freeing up more of it. Here's where the 4 things you do. The first thing is you thank people, and you thank people wholeheartedly. You thank them both verbally, one-on-one. You thank them publicly with other people around it so that other people hear that that person has done something for you. And you say specifically what you particularly thank them for. For example, thank you, Derek, for the valuable insights you brought to the off-site retreat. I felt that it helped us to keep on track and to really drive some great outcomes in the end, and I really, appreciate your input. This is where I thank Derek for that input. The next one is acknowledging. Just think about it. There's so many people around us that, we take for granted, and we never acknowledge them really for anything. Example, you walk into a bathroom of a corporate office or an airport, and there is somebody cleaning the bathroom. In that moment, how often would you catch yourself just walking past that person, not even looking at him, not even, nodding to him, not even saying anything to him? This is where the power of acknowledgement comes in. If you were to just in that very moment acknowledge the cleaner and say, you know what, hi, just like that. Or you would say, I just want to say that this is probably the cleanest bathroom that I've walked into the last year. In that very moment, it doesn't take a lot of effort from you just to acknowledging something that you liked that person did, and you just verbalize it. Or you could just simply go by nodding somebody and just smile. Acknowledging goes a long way, and so often we just walk past these people, and once again, they're not just in the bathroom. They may be anywhere at work. They may be certain clients that you've just taken for granted because they've been 20 years with you, and you just haven't really acknowledged them. You haven't given anything of you, personally speaking, on a human level to deepen your trust, deepen your relationship, and maybe it's time for it. The C in good tax stands for complimenting. Complimenting just means that you just say something to somebody, hey, I just absolutely love how you go on the phone and how you talk to people so warmly, kindly, and that you're always so empathetically and trying to get a good outcome for them. I just want to compliment you on that. Good job. This is where you compliment someone. Again, another way to build people around you. And the last one is smile. The S stands for smile. Whenever we travel, we know that there's an international currency that everyone can relate to, and it is your smile. Now, this is obviously not the phony, candid camera type smile like cheese and then you smile. That's a made one. What I'm saying is one where you really go down in your heart and you truly, genuinely tune in with somebody and you smile of the heart. It's you smile on a human level, on equal level. So even if you're the top boss and you got somebody in your warehouse that you're walking by, giving that person a warm, gentle smile from you, nothing with hierarchy, just on an equal level, that is the type of smile that I'm suggesting you to use. Now, watch this space. Right now, the concept of good tax consists of 4 little things you do on a daily basis. You thank people specifically, kindly, and honestly. The second thing is that you acknowledge people for who they are on an equal level. The third one is that you compliment people specifically and you pretty much give them a thumbs up. And the last one is that you smile. If you do this on an ongoing basis, you are depositing credits in people's emotional bank account. The more you put into it, the more you effectively can take out if you need them later on down the track. However, you cannot withdraw the things that you haven't put in first. So you need to make a conscious effort in making the deposits first. This is my little gift to you, good tax. I'll obviously make sure that I compliment you on doing a great job. I acknowledge you, obviously, for watching this video and leaving comments and questions below. And I also want to thank you for being with me on the journey and, most importantly, for making the difference that I believe that we're all designed to do by being here. We're gifted with a presence, we're gifted with a life, and it's it's up for us to make it and build people around us. The more we do, the more highly emotional intelligent we become, the more people we get on the journey with us, and the more we engage both mind and heart to free up more emotional capital. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. If you would like a free copy of my book called Selling Is Out, Create Buying, the only thing you need to do is go to my website, bramlagrou.com, enter your name and email address there, and the system will automatically deliver a complimentary copy for you. My name is Bram. I wish you a great day, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.